Of the night, the injured Kenny Carter. He qualified for this British final riding with a leg fractured in 4 places and having to be lifted on and off his bike like a medieval knight. Just before the racing began, Gary Newman asked him what problems he had racing with that broken leg.
Well, if you look at the boots, you know, you can see the difference in size, and I've got to have a special cast on, so I have no movement on my right leg. So it's hard work when you're riding because you can't manoeuvre the bike the same, so it's difficult.
Well, after a hot, clear day, the weather suddenly turned. There were torrential showers, and for a while it looked as if the whole meeting might have to be cancelled. It started in appalling conditions, which didn't stop Kenny Carter winning his first heat.
When you go abroad in long track meetings, are you some of the boys ride in worse conditions than this?
Well, the problem is, if this meeting would have been nowhere else in England, everybody would have rode, they would have had to ride. I think they will ride today. But if you look on the inside where people's rode, it's dry. I mean, you can see the track over there. There's no problem. It's on the outside where it's wet, but nobody rides there. And I think the problem is, because it's raining, a few riders have scored no points or 1 point, and they don't want to carry on. I've won one race, I might come last in my next race, and I've got a broken leg. You know, I've got a broken leg, and I'd like to ride. And if it was that bad, I wouldn't want to ride. But
referee's just announced we're carrying on.
But if you look at the track at Oxford, I've got a video of that meeting, and the track was worse than this, and it was pissing down.
It was raining?
Yeah. And I'd just like to say, I'm not very happy. I was in the changing room, 16 riders and myself, and 5 or 6 of the riders sort of ganged up on me because I wanted to ride and started swearing and things at me. And that's from the England teammates, so I don't think very much of them either.
So the riders, the tempers getting so frayed that they're to carry on, and they turned on you?
They're starting turning on me because I want to ride. You know, I voice my opinion, say I want to ride. They voice their opinion, say they don't want to ride. And so there's no need to get nasty, but they seem to get a little bit nasty.
So the riders on maximum points, Kenny Carter, Alan and Andy Graham and Neil Evetts, all wanting to continue, but the others, including Les Collins, Mark Courtney, Gordon Kennett and Dave Jessup, who were 1 point behind, saying that the track was too dangerous. Dave Lanning picks up the story.
Kenny Carter coming into heat number 5, and this one really should have an interesting prospect, because we have 2 of the riders who have been in the camp who wish to continue to race. That's Carter and Alan Graham, and 2 of the riders who really have been opponents of that decision. That's John Louis, who has been really outspoken in his opposition, and Chris Morton, he'll be in yellow and black. There is Carter, and it is really staggering to hear him say that his England teammates have been slagging him off in the dressing room for his desire to race. It's hard to imagine. There's Carter, the number 1. He has never been universally popular. He says what he thinks and leads with his chin, but it certainly isn't a glass chin. But that's amazing that a lad with a broken leg can get some abuse just because he wants to ride and do his duty to the public. Really quite amazing. Here's John Louis. Well, we've heard what he thinks of conditions. He says it's absolutely diabolical and should be called off. How is it going to affect his racing frame of mind? Will they be hunting for Carter? Or will the will and more positive appetite to race of Carter and Graham take its toll here in heat 5? Looking across the lineup on the inside, Louis, no score excluded with a fall in his first ride. Grid 2 has Alan Graham with a win. He is in blue. Carter is in white in grid 3 with a win, and Chris Morton, who had no score in his first ride, is on the outside. From a statistical point of view, in the first 4 races, the winner has come from the inside, grid in red, and away they go again, and up to the first corner. It is Carter away bravely. Carter leads it. Second place is Louis. Third is Graham, and Carter is riding a brave race. Morton's crept up into 3rd place. So it's Carter in front. Second place, Louis. 3rd place is Morton, and Alan Graham is at the back. Carter is absolutely tearing them apart, and it really does take a special brand of courage to turn on a performance like this. Still Carter in front. John Louis picking up 2 points here, retrieving his own personal situation in 3rd place. It's Morton. Into the last lap, still Carter. Now all, 50 lengths in front. Getting a bit tight at the minor placings, with Morton now pressing on the back of John Louis. No way through there. A win for Carter. Second place Louis. Third place was Chris Morton. And Carter acknowledging the crowd, and the crowd in turn acknowledging our well little hero. In this controversial British final, all the field of 16 have now completed their first 2 rides, and here is the leaderboard. In the lead, 1 point clear of the field, the brave Kenny Carter unbeaten on 6 points. Then we have 4 riders on 5 points. Dave Jessup, Andy Graham, Neil Evitts and Les Collins. Martin Yates, the sole National League representative, he's on 4 points. Gordon Kennett has 3 and Alan Graham has 3. And at the moment, those would be the 8 to go forward. Heat 10 brings back into the picture the rider who really has captured the imagination and the hearts of this crowd here at Coventry. Kenny Carter, unbeaten. He'll be in grid 2 in the blue helmet colour. As the racing has improved, track conditions drying up slightly, it has been shown it's possible to come from the back. Carter has made 2 impeccable starts and has not looked in danger, really. But he's got some tough opposition here. John Davis on the inside, a fast starter in red. Then Carter in grid 2. Grid 3 has Dave Jessup, who has conquered conditions, has 5 points. And on the outside, Martin Yates, who too can hop out of the traps. He has 4 points. Here we go, heat 10. And again, it is Carter and rather Jessup who shows. Jessup and Yates coming around the outside, and Carter lost almost control going up to the first corner. It's Martin Yates and Jessup together as they hit the bottom turn. And it is Martin Yates in front, and the young man from Wiltshire really is showing the way. Here's Carter coming into the picture, and the boy really has got some courage. You've got to take your hat off to him. He's having a go from the back. Remember, he's riding with a broken leg, and I think he's got round Dave Jessup. Carter has gone into second place and chasing hard after Martin Yates. Yates in front. Tremendous speedway here in Heat 10. Carter wants to be British champion. He's almost overcooked the bottom corner, and Jessup has come back inside him into the last lap. And it is now Jessup moving up into second place, and Carter's back in third place, but he's not finished. Yates in front. Jessup is second. Kenny Carter, who really is putting his neck on the line here. A win for Yates. Second place is Jessup. Third is Carter. And he really put 101% into that one. Oh. They've all had 3 races, and it's now Andy Graham, British champion 2 years ago, and a controversial exclusion victim last year. He has now hit the front with 8 points. In joint second place, Martin Yates, a surprise packet. Kenny Carter, the brave one. Neil Evitts, another surprise packet, and Dave Jessup on 7 apiece. Alan Graham and Les Collins on 6 points. And then we have 2 riders on 4 points, Gordon Kennett and Jeremy Doncaster. And that is the cut point with 8 to qualify. On the inside, Evitts, 7 points. Next to him, Wigg, needing points on 3. Grid 3 in white, Andy Graham, the leader at this stage, on 8 points. On the outside, Kid Courageous, Kenny Carter, 7 points, 2 race wins and a third. And this is Heat 15, and is the eventual British champion going to emerge from the charge up to the first corner here in Heat 15. A fantastic picture of Carter's concentration. And he is impatient. Settle back down, away they go this time. And it looks like, oh, they all bunch to the corner. And it's Carter in front. In second place, it's Wigg. And it really is tight as Wigg and Carter. Wigg is mono-wheeling as Carter goes clear. And once again, he showed an awful lot of bottle there. Carter in front, second place, Wigg. Third place is Andy Graham, and Evitts has been tailed off. Carter, well, most sportsmen with a broken leg would have been content just to come and qualify. Carter has come to win, and he really is stretching this Heat 15 where he has 2 of his main rivals. Into the last lap of Heat 15, and it's still Carter. And he's getting a bit tight at the back for Simon Wigg. Wigg suddenly is aware of the danger. Gets the throttle turned on, but Carter is going to win heat 15. So impeccably. Wiggers second, third place was Andy Graham. And it was a fair old jostle up to the first turn when Carter looked to be squeezed out, but still got the drop. And the crowd are rising to Kenny Carter, and that really is not surprising. 4 rides completed, 1 to go, and the guy with the gammy leg, Kenny Carter, is back in front on 10 points. We have a cluster of riders in second place on 9 points with Andy and Alan Graham, Dave Jessup and Les Collins all breathing down his necks. Martin Yates from Little National League Weymouth is in there on 8 points. We have Neil Evitts on 7 and Gordon Kennett on 6. Now, those are the top 8 with 1 to go. When we look under the cut line, we've got Jeremy Doncaster, Peter Collins and Simon Wigg all on 5 and looking very much for an impressive and point-scoring last ride to improve their chances. So there's Carter. He'll be on the inside, which has been a very, very useful starting position, certainly early on when conditions were greasy. Not quite such an advantage now. Let's just spell out what it's all about here in the last race on the card anyway. Carter needs 3 points to take the title, so a win will put him clear for his first British Championship success. A second place will take him into a run-off with Andy Graham and with Les Collins, who's also in this race, providing Les wins it. He's on the outside in yellow and black. Now, Gordon Kennett, he is in grid 3, must win to force a run-off for the 8th and final qualification place for Bellevue. The other rider in here, Peter Collins in blue, is out of it. The 1976 world champion and such a seasoned and indeed great ambassador for English Speedway is out even if he wins. So Carter on the inside must win, Kennett must win, and Les Collins needs to win as well. Everything to go for here in heat 20. And it is Peter Collins who gets away and who locks down on the line looking for Carter, and around the outside his brother Les, and of course the Collins boys are going to carve up Kenny Carter. Peter Collins in front, second place Les Collins can Carter get through into second place. It looks like he's going to have a go. And has he got the drop on Les Collins? They're absolutely locked together down into the third corner. And Carter is going to go through surely this time. Does so. He is through and he's battling with the Collins boys. And this is a fine piece of speedway again. Collins, Peter in front. Carter now challenging hard. Not a lot of love lost between these two, and Kenny Carter is really riding the race of his life, and he's got the drop on Collins as they move into the last lap. And Carter in front, Peter Collins is second, Les Collins is third. The kid with the gammy leg has carved them to pieces, and this is a British Championship success which should go into the record books. What a night for Kenny Carter. From the front, from the back, he has been incredible. You cannot question his courage, you cannot question his skill, you cannot question his right to be called the British Speedway champion. He's had such bad luck when he's been 100% fit. What a way to win his first British Championship, and who, one must argue, is going to stop him in his quest for world honours?
Yeah?
Have a swig first.
Look at that, it's all gone, man. Ian's got it all.
Kenny.
Lick it off your jacket. Look at that.
What? Kenny, you sure you have broken your leg?
Kenny,
Kenny, you sure you have got a broken leg the way you rode there? It was remarkable.
I daren't touch the tapes again because I got warned once, and PC got a flyer, but I'm just happy that I won it.
But it looks as if the Collins brothers were going to carve you up there. You were in third place.
They both went out, you know, to chop me up to help Peter, and they give me a hard time on the first 2 laps, but I came through and won, so that's what it's all about.
It was a remarkable race even in your career.
Just over the moon. Fantastic.
Yes, the show of great courage there by Kenny Carter, finishing the top qualifier and, of course, the British champion. The other qualifiers, Andy Graham, Dave Jessup, Martin Yates, Les Collins, Alan Graham, Jeremy Doncaster and Simon Wigg.